Hey everybody, and welcome back to Am's Untitled Podcast. I'm Am. Hi, if you've never met me before, it's really nice to meet you. Welcome to my Percy Jackson dedicated podcast. Oh my gosh, today is a very, very exciting episode. If you don't know what's going on, the first official teaser trailer for season 3 has been released. I was so excited. I woke up to the news. I was up extra early because I had a wedding to go to. 6 a.m. in the morning, I opened my phone, and the best thing I could have seen that day came up. Oh, I was not ready. I did honestly did not think they were going to release it until after the panel. And obviously, I had already put the panel on my watch list. It was available to stream on Disney Plus, and I was like, no, I want to be there. I want to see the panel firsthand. I had been doing 3 days of weddings. I was miserable. I was tired, but this was something that really uplifted my spirits. And I'm so excited to share my thoughts on this teaser with you guys today. I am so sorry there was no episode last week. There was a massive heat wave in the UK, and I wasn't feeling well enough to do this, and I knew that the trailer was coming, but I didn't know when it was going to come. So I was like, no, I'm adamant. I want the next episode to be where I review the teaser trailer. So here we are today to do just that. Warning to everybody who is listening to this definitely is going to contain massive spoilers from the book, from the teaser trailer. So if you haven't read the book or seen the teaser yet, please go and watch that first before you listen to me talk about it. Um, but I'm really excited and I can't wait to share what I've come up with. So let's get into it. I've taken a lot of notes on this. I've tried my best to break this down like to the best of my ability. So let's see what I've managed to come up with. Okay, so the beginning shot of the teaser is our quest team, which consists of Grover, Percy, Zoe, Thalia, and Bianca entering the junkyard of the gods before the screen goes blank. Now, the junkyard of the gods scene is something I've been really excited for. It is one of my favorite aspects of the book. It is one of the most gut wrenching aspects of the book, and I remember when I read the book for the first time, I was not ready for what was happening. So I thought it was quite interesting that they put that as one of the first things that you get to see. I know a lot of people, because it's the first shot, probably may have skipped over it, but I noticed it and I was like, no, I was like, that is something that is worth mentioning because I think that is the halfway mark of the season, if I am not mistaken. I will double check the episode titles, bear with. So I've got all the episode titles right here in front of me. So episode 1 is My Rescue Operation Goes Very, Very Wrong. An old friend comes to visit. I learn how to grow zombies. We visit the junkyard of the gods, which is the halfway point in the season. I have a damn problem. I wrestle Santa's evil twin. I put on a few million extra pounds. The gods vote on how to kill us. So yeah, that is like the middle of the season. So I thought that was quite interesting that that was one of the first things that you got to see in the teaser. But we'll see. There's probably some special reason behind it. But I just thought that that was quite interesting that they put that in first. And of course, we're still in the junkyard of the gods scene, and Percy looks absolutely terrified. And I'm assuming they don't actually necessarily show us what he's looking at, but I'm going to make the assumption that that was because he had seen Talos, who is Hephaestus's prototype, who lives in the junkyard. And I don't know if I want to say this out loud because I feel like someone's going to listen to this episode and they wouldn't have read the book, and I'm about to give a massive spoiler. Okay, if you haven't read the book, please skip 10 seconds into this episode so I don't spoil this for you. Talos is one of the reasons why Bianca dies. So I was a little bit like, when I saw him, I was like, oh my god. I was like, it's actually happening. Like, this is real. She's really gonna die. And I love Olive. I think she's adorable. And I'm just like, no, please don't. Like, you always hope when you see something like this, you always hope that things will change. And that every time I go to read Titan's Test, I always think that something's gonna change. I know it won't. Like, every time I get to that book, like particularly that chapter, I'm like, oh god, I really don't want this to happen. And she's like the first real character death that we like, a character that we get to know, and then she eventually dies. Like, she's the first big death in the series, and I know it's coming, and I'm just like, no, I'm not ready. Like, I don't want to do this sort of thing. And I think it was a really big like reality check for me as well, which is like, this season is different. It is darker. We are going to lose people along the way, and there's nothing we can do about it because that is life. And I'm just, I'm so excited for this season, but then also at the same time I'm a little bit like, oh God, I don't want to look, I don't want to see it happen, sort of thing. So I'm kind of in two minds for how I feel about certain things, particularly character deaths this season. And of course, in the voiceover, Percy mentions having a dream about the great prophecy. And in the next shot, we see the Oracle coming to visit Zoe in the woods, which I think is like a massive hint, not just to book readers, but for non-book readers as well, that Zoe is kind of, from the moment the Oracle visits her, I think it's kind of like a timer. So she knows. I always thought this, and I don't have any confirmation of this. This is just something I was thinking about. In the Titan's Curse book, when the prophecy is revealed to Zoe, I think she knew. I think she knew she was going to be the one to die. And that is why she is the way that she is on the quest. And I was like, when I saw that in the trailer, I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, they're giving us the hints, like they're giving bits of the plot away to people without them even realizing. And like, I think the most terrifying part was like the oracles never really come to visit anyone. Like people normally go to see the oracle, but this time the oracle's physically coming to Zoe, which I think is terrifying. And it's also like shows that I don't really know how to explain it. It's like the Oracle was coming with like a bad message, if that makes sense. Like normally people seek the Oracle out for a prophecy, but the prophecy was sort of coming to her to be given to her, which I think is awful. But yeah, I liked that sneak little peek that we got in the trailer for that part. And then the next thing we got to see was the Council of Olympus. Obviously, we didn't get to see all the gods, but we got to see our new Zeus, Poseidon, and Hera, and they look so regal. Like they've got, I don't know how to explain this. It was such a simple shot of them sitting on their thrones, and they're all dressed in like beige and very formal looking. And actually, I did a little bit of research into what the color beige sort of means, and it's a lot to do with like simplicity, and it's like these are divine like, well, not humans, but they are divine people, and it's like they can be like, this is them in their sort of humany form, you could say. And it's like to see them, like this is the first time like the Council of Olympus, like it gets mentioned a lot, but this is the first time we're going to see all the gods come together, which is super exciting. But you can feel the authority from the screen. Like I was feeling intimidated just looking at them. I was like, Jesus, I would not want to be standing in front of them, um, as they decide like how to kill us basically. But yeah, I thought that that bit was really, really interesting, and I'm glad that we got like a little sneaky peek into that. And it will be interesting to see like what sort of dynamic like all the gods share between them. Like, will it be very book accurate, where they all fight and disagree and bicker amongst themselves, or is it a bit more of like an adult sort of mature conversation? We'll see when the time gets there, but that is something that I was thinking about as well. And then we got our first look at Atlas holding the sky on Mount Orthis. And all I was thinking about the entire time I was watching that little snippet was, oh my God, Annabeth's got to do that for 20, nearly 22 hours. Like, my poor girl has got to sit there with the weight of the world crushing her. And that's all I could think about. It was driving me crackers. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how she's going to survive. I don't know in what condition Percy's going to find her in. And it terrifies me. Like it genuinely does scare the absolute shit out of me. And I'm not ready. Like I keep telling myself that I'm just not ready for this. Like I'm not ready to do this. But yeah, I like I said, like I'm not ready, but at the same time, like I really want to see it happen. So I don't really have a choice. And then the next shot, we see Grover, Bianca, Zoe, and Thalia at the Smithsonian Museum, which is one of my favorite parts of the book. It is one of my favorite chapters in the book. And it will be so exciting to see how they've made it look, and how, like, I have a certain way that I've imagined what the Smithsonian would look like and what that scene looks like. But it would be so cool to see what it looks like through the showrunner's perspective, through the director's perspective. And it's like, obviously, they understand that they can't make everybody happy. But I am really excited to see what they've come up with. And I think the reason why they look so terrified is because they've seen the skeleton army for the first time. or they've seen the Nemean lion. I'm not sure which one it is, but they looked terrified. And I guess we're gonna find out soon enough what they were so scared of. Uh, the next scene is Percy sort of running through a corridor in the school, I'm assuming. And I don't know if this is the bit where he's either trying to find Annabeth or he's trying to find Nico and Bianca. I'm not sure which one it is. Obviously, all will be revealed on November 20th, but it will be interesting to see which one of those it is. And then there's the next shot, which is Percy and Nico walking through camp together. And it's such like an amazing parallel to season one, where Luke and Percy did kind of the same thing, where Luke gave Percy a tour of the camp, and it shows like I think for me it was a very eye-opening moment, which is like Percy's no longer a kid. Like he is a young man. He is a role model to the people around him. And he's like Nico's big brother. Like he is doing essentially what Luke did for him in the first season. And the big betrayal at the end of season three is so similar to the betrayal that Luke did to Percy. And I think that scene between Percy and Nico is something else I'm really looking forward to, because in the book, I remember being so shocked and I couldn't believe what was happening and the impact it had on Nico. And now I've seen Nico come to life. So I'm like, even more like, I wonder how Levi is going to play that particular scene. I know he's going to be fantastic. I have no doubts about that whatsoever. But I am really excited to see how everything sort of fans out in the Percy and Nico relationship, because it is so important for the next few seasons, I suppose. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm thinking about it a lot now, and I'm like, ooh, I wonder, I wonder what's going to happen there. And also, we got a sneaky peek at the dam scene, which I'm super excited about. Again, one of my favorite parts in the book. Those jokes are honestly some of my favorite. Like, I remember like crying with laughter because they were so bad, but it made me laugh even more because they're all so tired and they don't know what's going on and they're still having to fight, and it's so funny. I think it's one of the only normal scenes in the book where there's no fighting going on, nothing's happening yet, and they're just feel like they can relax and just have a joke, which is quite nice. And it's definitely something I am anticipating the most this season. Also, as they are showing these scenes in the trailer, we have the voiceover of Aphrodite, and she's talking about how love has the power to start wars. And I'm interested to see when she says that. Like, I hope it is in that limo scene where she's talking to Percy about Annabeth and how this is his quest for true love and things like that. And, you know, this idea that love is a very, like, is the most powerful force in nature, and it can either be used for something good or something bad. And I can't wait to see that interaction between Percy and Aphrodite, and see if there's like a reference to the fact that he can see Annabeth and Aphrodite. Like, I would love that. It would make me scream. It would literally like make my Percabeth heart so happy. But yeah, that is again one of the big scenes that I'm looking forward to this season. Then we see, of course, Dr. Thorne in his human form, which I think is either the first part of the Titan's Curse book where we see him in the school, or it's the bit where Percy and Annabeth are trying to save Nico and Bianca um from him. Or the only other thing that I can think of it could be is, do you know the scene where Percy finds out about the zombie soldiers and that he sees them being grown? I think it could be that scene as well, but I'm not sure which one it is. Like, this is only the teaser, so I'm not 100% sure about where certain things are going to be placed. But I thought that was a quick. He plays a brilliant Dr. Thorne. Like, just looking at him, he looks the part. So I'm interested to see how he plays the part. Okay, so the next thing is Annabeth turns around like really abruptly, and I'm going to assume that this is the part where Dr. Thorne discovers that Annabeth has come to save Nico and Bianca. But again, I can't confirm anything because, like I said, like the teaser doesn't give away much. It is just like snippets of different episodes sort of put together, so it's kind of hard to dictate which one goes where. But in that scene, she was wearing her dress that she wore to the Westover hall dance scene. So I'm assuming it is the moment where he finds out that she's trying to take Nico and Bianca, but I'm not sure. And of course, the next shot sort of ties into that because Percy's still in his suit and he discovers that Annabeth is in danger, so he's hiding behind this pillar with Riptide in his hand. And I think he's trying to save her, but I'm not sure. The next thing I was super excited about because again, like I said, it comes back to Smithsonian Museum part of the book, and we see the Nemean lion for the first time, and it looks absolutely incredible. It looks so terrifying. I love it. And it looks exactly how I pictured it from the books. So it was nice to see like a vision that I've had in my mind for the last however many years I've been reading these books now coming to life, if that makes sense. And even Zoe looked terrified of it. So even I was like, yeah, okay, that scene's gonna really like get my adrenaline pumping, but I'm so here for it. Like I'm so excited. Then we see, of course, a shot of the soldiers walking towards our quest team. And honestly, my memory of the Titan's Curse book is not brilliant. I don't know why. That is the one book I can never remember properly. I think it's because there's so many things that happen in that book that, like, there's probably bits and pieces that I've missed. And because Walker said that this is going to be the most book accurate season, I think I definitely need to read the book again before I watch the episodes. So I have a bit more of an idea what's going on. But that scene where the quest team were kind of backed against like this bus, I couldn't remember what was happening in it. So I definitely need to go back and read the book for that. But yeah, I think there'll be some sort of epic fight that happens in that moment, but we'll see. And again, we see another shot of General Atlas in his full battle armor, and he is no longer carrying the weight of the sky. And what I love so much about the Percy series' team is they have such an attention to detail. Like Atlas's hair is fully white, and it's well, white or grey, depending on how you look at it, and it's this idea that he's been holding the Titan's curse for so long, he's been holding the weight of the world for so long, that his entire body shows that, and I quite like that. And it's the way he's walking, like very, very slow, like a villain walk. It's like it's very slow, very intentional, and he's got this look on his face. And instantly my brain went to, oh my god, this is the scene where he's walking towards Zoe, ready to beat her up. That literally is the only thing that came to mind. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna kill his daughter. I was like, this is it. Like she's gonna die in that moment, and I'm not ready for it at all. But yeah, I definitely know that this season is gonna give me a lot of trauma. I'm gonna shed a lot of tears. But you know what? I'm here for it because I shed so many tears when I read the book. It almost feels like no skin off my cry while watching it on the screen as well. I don't know if I will be more emotional watching it. I think I will be because obviously seeing these characters come to life, like Zoe's always been one of my favorites. I think she's amazing, and I can't wait to sort of see the way Sarah brings her to life. And I think I will develop such an attachment to her that it will affect me more. But yeah, I'm super, super stoked, particularly for that scene. And I think that will definitely be the second to last episode. And oh my gosh, yeah, it's gonna be a tough. It'll be like tough waiting for a week to see the season finale. But I did it with season two, so I can definitely do it with season three. But yeah. Okay, so the next sort of shot that we get to see is Percy and Annabeth at the dance, and oh my god, guys, can we just talk about the way they look at each other? Like there's so much like angst and like yearning in that moment, and I was like literally screaming because I was like, oh my god, like when, like it frustrates me so much because they're two people. Annabeth is sure of how she feels, and it's like Percy just doesn't know, and he doesn't realize that that's what he feels for her, and it's crazy to me. And then in that moment there's also like a little bit of a voiceover from Aphrodite, and she's saying like, oh, the reason we'll survive this war is because of love. And oh my god, I was on the floor, like I nearly fainted. I was like, guys, my weak heart like can't handle this. Like I know that that scene is probably going to be my favorite, like it'll be one of my favorite Percabeth moments ever. But it's just like just seeing them and seeing how far they've come from season one, like these two innocent kids that have been through the most crazy things, and they're finally coming together and we're getting that intimacy as shippers, and it's just like it's just the best thing ever. Like I could not be happier. Like I know what's coming next season if we get renewed, and it just makes me so happy and so excited. And I know that they've definitely set up that dynamic perfectly next season. But yeah, I wanted to mention that moment because it was definitely one of my favorite moments in the teaser. Okay, so the next thing is we see the scene where Percy and Aphrodite are in the limo together, and he looks so shy and so awkward. Like I've never seen him like this. Like Percy generally is quite a confident character. Like he knows who he is, but in that moment he just seems so like he seems like a little schoolboy. He is so cute, and I'm just like, oh, bless him. And like I think he realizes in that moment that he does feel something for Annabeth. Like, I think he knows. Like, whether he fully accepts it, I don't think, like, we'll get the answer to that. And I know he's trying so hard to deny it. And he's like, no, it's not happening. I don't feel that for her. You're waffling. But actually, deep down, I can see it on his face. I know he cares about her and I can see it. And it's just like, why can't you just admit it to yourself? Just admit it that you like her. It's not hard. But it's just like, I understand that obviously at that age, it can be very confusing. And they have a different sort of pressure, which is like they live in this world where it's not easy to be with someone, and it's not easy to express how you feel, and there's so many other bigger than life things going on that you maybe don't have the time to sit with your own feelings and discover that actually, you know what, there is something there. And it was so sweet to me because I've noticed that when Percy talks to people, he generally keeps like quite good eye contact, like he's always looking them in the eyes, and I quite like that about him. But in this scene he avoids a lot of eye contact. He's constantly looking at the ground, fiddling with his hands, and I think it's because he knows that Aphrodite can tell that he loves Annabeth, but she won't. She wants him to say it. She doesn't want to tell him. She doesn't want to dictate how he feels. She wants him to sort of discover it himself, but she's trying to also nudge him in the right direction, if that makes sense. And do you know what? Another thing that I was thinking about was like she's such a shipper and she's always been invested in Percy and Annabeth's relationship. And I'm pretty confident that she has definitely written some Percabeth fan fiction somewhere. I just can't prove it. But yeah, I think when she calls it a quest for true love in the book, I really hope that's one of the lines in the scene because that is one of my favorite lines of the book. And I remember, like, because the books are written in Percy's perspective, it was like he's so shocked by all of it, and it's like he doesn't give it like a sort of second thought. But deep down, I think like in his heart, he does feel it. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of like time for him to accept that and work the courage up to talk to her about it, which is quite nice. And that is why I'm really hoping we get renewed for season 4 so I can see them be together because that's all I've ever wanted is to just see at least the first 5 books come to life. I know begging for Heroes of Olympus might be a little bit of a stretch, but I just want these first 5 books and I will genuinely be so happy. And yeah, that is one scene that I know I'm gonna love it. Like when it comes, I know I'm gonna love it. Okay, then we of course get a sort of different angle, like a different shot from the dance, where Annabeth is walking away from Percy and she's clearly annoyed. Like you can see it on her face. The way she sort of storms off, I could tell that she was annoyed about something. And I didn't notice this before, and I've only just noticed this now as I was doing the notes for this review. Is that if you look very closely at Percy's hand, he is holding a brochure in it. And I'm assuming that is the one that Annabeth had been given, which was like when she wanted to join the Hunters of Artemis. And I think he sort of confronted her about it in that moment. I think he found out that she had it in her bag or something, or he'd seen her with it, and he had sort of taken it, looked at it, and realized what it was, and got like in his own head about the fact that she could leave him. And he just, in that moment, he just blurted it out. And I think she just took it the wrong way. But I'm super excited for that scene. And, you know, we always talk about the fact that Percy gave up immortality for Annabeth, but Annabeth did it first. She had a choice to join the Huntresses of Artemis. She had that choice and she didn't take it. She didn't take it because she had hope that one day Percy would realize how he felt about her and she could be with him. And I think that that's amazing. And I hope that we get something like that in this season. It doesn't have to be those exact words, but I hope that someone does ask Annabeth why she doesn't do it, and she says the truth, which is like, no, I couldn't do it because of Percy. Like, I literally just want to hear her say that, and I'll be so happy. And the reason why I want to hear her say it is because, again, like I was saying, the books are all in Percy's point of view. It is so hard, particularly in this book, for me to read it, because obviously there's not a lot of Annabeth until towards the end. Like, I never know how she is, what she's feeling. And like, what I love about the show is the show can sort of lean into that. They can like give everybody a story. And I'm so glad that this season, and I'm so grateful to the producers for giving Leah this opportunity to hash out the story for Annabeth. Like, I want to know what happens to her after she's taken. Like, I want to know what Luke does to her in those hours that he spends with her. And it's just like, I'm glad that we get to see a little bit more of that. And when we do get an official trailer, I'm glad, like, I'm hoping there'll be something in there that kind of hints to that, but we will see. Okay. Um, and obviously, like, a big theme in this book, just before I wrap this point up, is that Percy just can't deal with the fact that Annabeth is missing. And like, Percy can't deal with the fact that he could lose her. And it's such a big theme. And I can see a lot of that angst in Walker's face throughout the different shots in the trailer. And I can see how it progressively is getting worse. And I'm glad that he's able to play that. So it's like, sometimes it's very subtle and sometimes it's not. But I liked that unhingedness in him. I like that it challenges him, that it upsets him, that it affects him. Like, I like that because it shows that there's genuine feelings for her there. And I'll always be a shipper no matter what. So that is the thing I will always look for first. Okay. There's another shot of Annabeth sort of turning around again in a completely different outfit. And I'm not sure why she turned around like that. I don't know if I'm not sure what is going on, but I'm pretty confident that that will be in the first episode. So I'll get that answer on November 20th, which is only like how many months away now? Like 3 months. I can wait 3 months. Like, I can do this. Like, I can wait for 3 months. I waited so like a year nearly, so I can wait again. It's okay. And then of course we get our first peek at Dr. Thorne as the Manticore, and he sort of picks Percy up and throws him to the ground. And Annabeth jumps on his back and she goes tumbling down the cliff. And honestly, I gasped really loudly. Like, again, I know all this is happening, but it is so different when you see it on screen. And what I like in particular is the way the set was designed and the lighting. It goes like red on the snow, and it's like this big symbol of like danger and something missing. And it's just like Percy and Thalia like on the edge of the balcony, like desperately looking for her. And it's that knowing as like a book reader that they're not gonna find her until later on is really sad. And it was just like watching that scene, I was just like, I can't imagine how Percy must have felt in that moment. But also Thalia, like, she's just lost her sister again. She's only just found her and she's lost her again. And I think it's such an emotional moment, and I know that that will hit me quite hard when I watch the episode. And there's this scream that Walker does. Oh my god. She screams Annabeth's name, and it literally gave me goosebumps. Like, I got a shiver down my spine when he said it. I was like, oh my god. I was like, he is so good, like so gifted. When I look at him, I'm just like, wow, he's evolved so much in the last season. And it's just like, yeah, I didn't think anything could top his performance in season 2, episode 6, where Annabeth gets hurt. I didn't think anything could top that, but I think this season he's definitely going to give me some moments like that where I'm just like, wow, he's just incredible. Um, and the next shot that we see is Percy talking about Dr. Thorne, and he says, like, in the voiceover, like, he didn't want Annabeth, he wanted me instead. And that I think what he's trying to say is that Dr. Thorne took Annabeth away from him because he knows how special she is to Percy, and he knows that he will do anything to save her. And he looks so angry and distraught and just so sad at the same time. Like, he sat in front of the tents of the huntresses, and he sat and like he looks so lost. And honestly, I think there's an element of guilt in there as well, because he knew that he fought with her beforehand, and he was like, if she dies, like, he knows that he never would have got the chance to tell her how much she means to him, or like even apologize for what he did, if that makes sense. And I can see that that guilt is really crushing him this season. And honestly, Walker's acting, particularly in that shot, was just chef's kiss perfection. Like, I honestly couldn't have asked for anything better. Okay, so the next sneak peek we got was at the bronze statues that carry, of course, Thalia and Percy away at the Hoover Dam, which I thought was absolutely awesome. Again, it was one of the like the bits in the book where I always thought, oh, how they would like bring that to life. Like, I don't see how that would be something they could bring to life, and they've managed to do it, which is pretty awesome. And of course, the next scene is where Percy is he's in the water and he sees Annabeth's dagger and he picks it up. And what it made me think of was the scene in Mark of Athena where Percy grabs Annabeth's dagger and he says, "You drop this." And I'm really hoping we get some sort of parallel or like some sort of hint towards that moment. And it really shows that he, like, obviously he lost her cap last season. So I don't know how in this season he's going to find that back. But I'm interested to see if the dagger is the thing that he gives to her when he sees her again. Or I also noticed, like, when she went tumbling off the cliff, she didn't have her camp beads on. So I wonder whether he, like, wears it round his neck or like keeps it in his pocket or something this season, and then maybe he gives that to her. I don't know, but I know that there'll be something like physically symbolic like that that he will give to her, and I am kind of hoping it will be like a "you drop this" moment, but we will see. um and there's a lot of Percy angst in this season, and he talks about, like, in the trailer, how nobody knows where Annabeth is. The gods don't know. They don't know. Like, he doesn't have a way to find her, if that makes sense. And you can hear this genuine like desperation in this voice, in his voice. Like, he can't think of anything else. Like, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to help her. And I think like that is going to really crush me this season. It's probably something I wasn't looking forward to this season, is because I'm so used to seeing happy Percy. Like, I love that side of him. But Dark Percy is in there. And I think we see a lot more of that this season. And I know that his smile, like a genuine smile, isn't going to return back to him until he finds her. And that makes me really excited as well. Okay. The next thing we see is like a sort of tiny shot of Grover and Thalia having an interaction with Ares. And I'm assuming that's the scene where Ares gets out of the limo and says to Percy, "Oh, yeah, Aphrodite wants to talk to you." Or this interaction is happening whilst Percy is in the limo talking to Aphrodite. I'm not sure which one it is, but I'm excited to see what Thalia says to Ares. Because again, like, because the books were written from Percy's point of view, we don't really know like what everybody else is doing or what's going on unless Percy's there, if that makes sense. So it'd be nice to see more of that this season. Okay. Also, there's a bit in the teaser trailer of the junkyard of the gods collapsing, and again, I knew that was like sort of alluding towards Bianca's death. And I knew that I wasn't ready for that scene. And I know I'm gonna cry. And people are gonna think I'm such a baby because I'm sitting there and crying. And like, people are like, "How can you cry if you know what's gonna happen?" And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. Like, I develop a genuine connection to these people when I see them on the screen as these characters. They are nothing but the characters to me. So when they get hurt or they die, it does genuinely affect me, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't do this," sort of thing. And I know, like, there's a lot of Bianca hate in this fandom, but guys, I'm not standing for it. I'm not having anybody hating on Olive. Yeah, Bianca was just a girl when this all happened. She was just a child. You cannot say that she intended for any of this to happen. Oh, that she deserved to die. I'm not having any of the hate from the fandom on her this time, because Olive is a real person and she doesn't deserve that. So I'm not tolerating anybody who's going to hate on her this season. But yeah, she made a mistake, and unfortunately she paid the price for it. But that's like with everything, isn't it, really? It's like everybody makes a mistake. Like, Percy's made countless mistakes on questions and things like that. So I don't know why specifically everybody hated on Bianca for that moment. But I won't be tolerating any Bianca hate on this podcast. So if you want that, please go somewhere else, because I'm not doing it. And then there's a shot of Nico sort of staring out the window. And I wonder if that's like in the last episode where he sees obviously Percy and then return from the quest and he wants to go out and ask them about Bianca. And I just know that that's going to be another gut wrenching scene for me. I know that scene is going to be really hard to watch, but also I'm excited to see what Levi does with this character because he seems like such a happy kid in real life. Like it'll be interesting to see like the kind of darker side of Nico that he plays, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. And I think it kind of cemented this idea that we're not going to get like an ounce of happiness this season, which again is quite sad, but also like we need to understand that the series is maturing. Everybody's growing up, things are going to change. So, of course, like that's going to happen, and there's nothing we can really do about it, if that makes sense. Um, and then there's a shot of Bianca holding her bow as a huntress, and the one thing that kept going through my head was this is what she was made to do. She was destined to be a huntress. Like I don't think there's any other path that she could have taken. And, apparently Olive is really good at hitting the bullseye on target. So I'm interested to see a lot of her archery skills this season. And then there's a shot of Percy fighting one of the zombie soldiers. And it showed me that the action in this season is really different. Like it looks absolutely incredible. Like you can tell like everybody's up their game. Like everybody's gotten more comfortable as their characters. They understand their character's fighting style and they've really just took it and ran with it. And I love that. I think it's amazing. And I'm super excited to see the action. I think a lot of people who got to see the first 3 minutes of episode one at San Diego Comic Con said that the action this season is absolutely incredible. So I can't wait to see that. Um, and there's another shot of Thalia sort of pointing her spear towards the camera. I don't know if she's pointing at something or someone, and there's like a burning car behind her. And the scene it made me think of was the scene where she thinks that Zeus tried to kill her by setting the car on fire just as they get to where is it that they go? I can't remember. I think it's just as they get to the mountain, and she thinks that Zeus tried to kill her on purpose. And it'll be interesting to see how Tamara plays that bit, because obviously, like Thalia is one of my favorite characters, and she's got this spunk and this fire, and that's one of the scenes where she shows like a bit of like vulnerability. So I'm interested to see how Tamara sort of plays that bit out. She's a wonderful Thalia, and I think she was definitely built to play a role like this, and I'm excited that we get to see more of her now in season three. The next shot we see is of Percy and Zoe, and they're sort of like looking towards someone, and I think that's the scene where they're talking to Grover about something. But again, I don't know because like it's only all gonna make sense when we all see the episode, and I'll be able to sit like certain snippets from the trailer here. I'll be like, oh yeah, that goes in this episode, and that goes in that one. But we will see. Then we get to see a brand new character being introduced. Percy! Oh my god, she's so cute! Like, genuinely, she's so cute, guys. I looked at her and I was like, she's absolutely adorable. Like, how could she ever be dangerous? And, it makes me think, because she's in the shot with Percy, where he finds Annabeth's dagger on the floor, it makes me think if Bessie is the one that found the dagger and gave it to him, which would be quite cute. But yeah, again, we don't know. She might not have no link to that, but I just thought that could be a nice parallel, but we never know. And then there's a shot of Nico hugging Bianca, and it was so sweet. And I'm really excited to see their sibling dynamic. Like, I think that Olive and Levi, based on the panels that I've seen, the interviews that I've watched, the reels that I see on social media, I think they make such a great sibling dynamic. And I'm interested to see more of that in season three. There's a shot of course, Grover playing the panpipes as well, which I'm excited. We got to see a little bit of that in season two, episode one. So it will be interesting to see when that specific moment comes. And of course, there's a little quick shot of Percy sort of throwing Riptide into something, which I don't know, but that looks pretty awesome as well. Like it's interesting to see, like he never really lets go of Riptide, so it's like I wonder what he was aiming at that he did that. Again, there's a lot of like unanswered questions when you do a review of a teaser because there's only certain things that I know. I'm just guessing most of this because there is no evidence to back it up apart from book. I've only got the book to sort of draw references out of or like Easter eggs that I can spot. That's literally all I have to make these connections for you guys. But again, as we review each episode, all will become much more clear. And then we get a shot of Atlas and Annabeth, which I'm assuming is on Mount Orthis in the second to last episode, because they all do a little bit of a battle on the mountain. So it'll be interested to see how that looks. Or maybe that look that Annabeth pulls is when Thalia and Luke are fighting at the top and she sort of pushes him off the mountain. I don't know. Like I said, I'm pulling at strings here because I don't actually know what's going on, but we will talk about that once the episodes get released. And then we get to see Luke for the first time in the teaser. I expected to see more of him, but there was a lot less of him. And he is sort of holding up the sky and he's screaming. But the interesting thing about that is like, whilst Charlie's so expressionate anyway, but his eyes are closed in that scene. And I'm interested to see whether they will like debut the sort of gold eyes in that shot or if it's too early for that. I don't know. But I think that would be an absolutely awesome thing to do. And he looks really roughed up this season. Like you could tell, like Kronos is punishing him for failing to kill Percy last season. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see like how much Luke gets put through the ringer and how much of that like he sort of takes out on Annabeth. But we'll see when we sort of get there. And there's another shot of Percy running in these different places from something in the forest. I honestly have no clue what to tell you guys about that. I'm not actually sure what that is. So again, that'll be something that I have to clear up later on when we actually get the episodes. And there's a shot of Thalia and Percy, and this is of course when they're at camp and they're both incredibly frustrated over Annabeth, but also they're just fighting in general. And Thalia pushes him so hard that he goes flying into the water. And I'm really excited to see like these two divas, like these two headstrong characters, start like some of the most incredible generational beef we're ever gonna see. And I can't wait to see them fight over Annabeth. I think there's something so cool about that. Like I can't wait for them to just be like, no, but Annabeth loves me more. No, she loves me more. Like I just think that that's gonna be so fun to watch. Like it's just silly that they're fighting over it, but at the same time, like it's super entertaining. And one of the last shots in the teaser trailer is Talos's feet moving towards Percy, and Percy walks straight towards him in the junkyard, and he uncaps Riptide. And honestly, I love that shot. I think that shot is such a beautiful shot, and I can't wait to see that in episode 4. And it is definitely probably one of my favorite shots in the entire teaser. But there is something that got me a little bit more excited, I have to say. There was a voiceover, a teeny quote, and I will just share that quote with you now because as a Percabeth shipper, it made me incredibly excited. And Annabeth says to whoever she is speaking to, if it came down to a choice between me and Olympus, he'd burn it to the ground. She knew what she was doing. They knew what they were doing when they asked for that quote. Like that quote in season 2, like changed everybody's lives. Like, I saw that clip everywhere. I see it everywhere even now. It's all over TikTok. It's all over my Instagram reels. I see it all the time. But the fact that they've reused that quote, I was freaking out. Like my life changed in that moment. I was like, oh my God, I didn't think that she would ever reiterate that. I didn't think that that was Annabeth's sort of thing to do. And it was just like, all I could think was, Percy Jackson, the man you are. Like, she knows he would do anything for her. And it's not even like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's just, she believes him and the audience believes it, which I love. Like, it's not like she's just saying it to like stall someone. Like, she's saying it because she believes it. And so does the rest of the audience. And it was just like one of those moments where like my heart was literally racing. Like I can't describe to you the impact that it had on me. I completely forgot that she said that in the teaser. And when I watched it again just now to take these notes, I was like, oh my God, like that is just, it's just a sensational line. And whoever put that in the teaser, thank you so much for that. I'm so happy I did not wait for that one line until the episodes actually came out because I could not wait for something like that. And you know what? It made me think like I'm not even surprised that she caught feelings for him. Like, how can you not? When someone treats you like that, how could you not? Like, I can't blame her for falling for him in that aspect. And part of me selfishly really wants like her to say that to Luke. Like, I hope Luke is the person that she's talking to because there's this whole misconception in the book. I think in the show they slightly changed it. They made Luke and Annabeth have a bit more of a sibling dynamic. But in the book, there was a lot of confusion about how Annabeth felt about Luke and how Luke felt about her. And in the last book, you know, where he asked her, like, did you still love me? And Percy was there and she was like, I did love you, but not like that. Like, it was never like that between us, sort of thing. And I think this is one of those moments where I hope she's saying it to him because it would just. I would love to see what Luke's reaction to that comment, but we will see. I don't know who she's saying that to, but I'm really excited, and I think that will be the next quote that I have framed. I do have the quote from season 2, episode 5, which is, "So if I had to choose between saving you or saving Olympus, Annabeth, I'd burn it all down." That is framed in my bedroom, and I think this quote will definitely be framed once season 3 comes out as well. But yeah, I'm super excited, and I don't know what episode that's going to be in, but I know that that's definitely going to be my favorite quotes from this season. And the last shot of the teaser that I'm going to be talking about and sharing with you guys today is the bit at the end of the teaser where Thalia asks Grover, "Is this how quests normally go?" Like, it was a genuine question because, bless her, she's never been on a quest before. Like, she doesn't know what she's doing. And there's this really comical moment where Grover just sort of turns to her and looks at her and he says, "Yeah, pretty much." And that's where the teaser comes to an end. And honestly, that cracked me up so much. I love them. I think they have such a great dynamic. And I can't wait to explore more of Thalia's relationships with other people as well. Oh my gosh, that was a long episode. I felt like I talked for England, but I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the teaser trailer. Sorry if you were expecting the review of the Mark of Athena book. I'm sorry, this just took priority because it was too exciting and I couldn't wait to share it with you guys. I'm super excited. Like, November 20th can't come any soon, like any quicker. Like, I just want to have all the episodes now. But I'm hoping that the next big piece of information that we get from Percy's series is that they have been renewed for season 4, because this season is going to be epic and I would hate it if it stops here. So please, guys, whatever we need to do to make sure there is a season 4, we will do it. But for now, let's just wrap all this up. It's going to be a tough season, guys. It's going to be dark, it's going to be sad, it's going to be scary, but I think we're all gonna love it, and they've put so much hard work into this. They all look so happy with what they've come up with this season. All these new characters that have been introduced as well, we're all super excited for. And yeah, November 20th, that Friday, I am staying at home and I'm making sure I'm there for the premiere of the first 2 episodes. Thank you guys so much for listening in. I really appreciate it. This is a super long episode. I didn't realize I could talk this much about it, but I really hope that you liked what I managed to come up with. When we get an official trailer, I will also review that. But for now, this is what I can give you. Next episode, we will be going back to the Mark of Athena book, unless there is something else that needs to be talked about in terms of season 3. I doubt there will be, but we will see. And I will be speaking to you guys very soon. Also, if you want any Percy Jackson content, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Threads. All of my stuff gets posted on there. Both are at Amazon Title Podcast. Subscribe to my YouTube channel whilst you are there. It'd be greatly appreciated. Follow me on Spotify as well to be the first to know when a new episode goes live. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.